Hello.
Hello. Welcome,
Hey
everybody.
Josh. How's it going? I
Hey,
think
Robert.
I think also there's also as well.
All right.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay. Good. Well, I got some folks here. We were going to talk about data lakes. I know we had a little bit of a, a quick change. Our one of our support guys, Patrick, was going to do the MC and run things, but he had a family emergency today, so you're left with the B team.
You're
Uh,
stuck with me.
yeah,
Uh,
Josh, you wanna run the show here? That's
I have a couple of notes, but then I have a feeling you'll have some answers for some of the questions that I've got here.
you bet.
Uh, you and Elsu, and
Yep.
oh, I see we've got Boris on as well. Excellent. All
Yeah.
right. So first announcement is we have a meetup. We had one last night that you were at, Robert. Yeah,
Yep.
and
We had about 60 people.
amazing in Seattle, and then tomorrow night you'll be in San Francisco.
That's right. So this one's a kind of a smorgasbord of data and AI topics. We've got LanceDB, we've got Dremio, which we're really happy about, and this is all part of. So we do these meetups. Uh, we have, as I think some of you know, we have OSACon, which is Open Source Analytics Conference. It started out as a virtual conference, and now we're doing it as meetups. And we just go in with people that we're friendly with, and actually competitors, because it's open source. Hey, we can all share. So that's we're also going to have Amazon there, talking about S3 table buckets. It's for anybody who happens to be in the area. It is in downtown San Francisco at Sentry, the folks that do support for diagnostics uh, in uh, in any application that you can imagine. They run on ClickHouse, so they're big ClickHouse fans.
That's awesome. Yeah, should be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
And
so
then
yeah, sign up and join us.
yes. And one more thing to sign up for is we have a webinar on November 25th. So that'll be a week from yesterday, next Tuesday. And the topic will be AI-powered alert analysis. So this is going to be more of a deep dive for anyone who caught this talk at OSACon a couple of weeks ago. Um, Doing more of a deep dive on using AI to analyze alerts, which I think is a great place to put it, right? Somewhere where we can cut down on some of the fatigue while still having a human paying attention to the important things. Really looking forward to that. Again, that's on November 25th. You can find that out altinity.com, as well as all the details for the meetup in San Francisco tomorrow night. Hey, Alsu, welcome. We're so
Thank
glad to have
you.
you here.
Thank you.
So the meat of our office hours today, the topic is going to be what's new with ClickHouse and data lakes, and that's why we've brought Elsa on because she is preeminent expert on this topic, deep in the innards of ClickHouse, finding all of the rough edges that need to be smoothed over as part of Project Antalya and this Iceberg integration that we've been working on. Okay. Folks in the audience, feel free to interrupt at any time if you have more specific questions. I have a list of questions that we've gathered from the community that I'm going to work my way through, but if you have something burning and you want to ask it, feel free to drop it in chat, or even unmute yourself and ask it. This is an open forum. So with that being said, first question for our Altinity experts is over the last year, ClickHouse has shipped a lot of things around data lakes, specifically Iceberg, Delta Lake catalogs. Can you kind of give us like the big picture overview of ClickHouse's integration with these technologies?
Yeah, Josh, I'll take that one. So because also is deep in some of the specific issues, which are in some of the follow-on questions. Yeah, so every single database, analytic database on the planet is going crazy to support data lakes. And what ClickHouse upstream is doing is basically enabling people to use data lakes as another source of data from within ClickHouse. Now, I think for anybody who's been using ClickHouse for a few years, you know that ClickHouse over the years has developed really good support for for reading off files off S3 and writing them, also for reading and writing files in Parquet. And so this is kind of the next level up to to now begin to work with tables that use open table formats. And so basically what they're seeking to do is enroll it into the into the list of things that you can access through table engines. This is a very standard, this is an approach that ClickHouse has been doing for years. For example, is MySQL table engine. There is the Postgres table engine, so on and so forth. They're doing this. They've been doing the same thing with Iceberg, with Delta Lake, so on and so forth. There are two parts to this. One is to be able to read the files and as tables. So that's be able to do selects, be able to insert into them, at some point do updates. So normal SQL semantics that you expect. The second part is to be able to connect to catalogs. So in the open table universe, catalogs are the equivalent of databases. And so being able to connect to those then enables you to find your tables. So that's kind of it. You can treat it as, I view it as another kind of integration, basically. And that's the that's sort of the direction that ClickHouse seems to be going in right now, and it's sort of a natural follow-on to things that we've been doing for years.
Okay. That along with that, I guess we've seen several of the catalogs, Unity, Glue, REST, and Hive, have all moved from experimental to beta. Does this mean I can start using them in production?
That would be, yeah, I'll say
I will take this one. So this means that this integration are no longer just prototypes. They are now officially supported, stable enough, and like you can use them. You can start to use that in production for read-heavy analytics-oriented scenarios. So ClickHouse can attach your catalog, see existing Iceberg tables, and query it with a reasonably good performance, and actually use some optimization that you expect from the storage. But at the same time, beta also means that the team is still polishing some edges. A few areas are still evolving. There are some fixes for path to support stored data and metadata in different locations. There are certain catalog-specific features, some minor ones, but they are still in development. And the team is working on deeper optimization around planning and pruning. There are some kind of minor bugs, but overall, the catalog integration is ready for real use. Yeah, the remaining gaps will be covered very soon.
Awesome. So
Also, do you have and just from your perspective, as since you manipulate this, do you have like 25.8 is the latest LTS build? Would you go with 25.8, or would you use more recent builds like say 25.10?
I will use 25.8 because the team recently introduced some new optimizations that are not really heavily tested yet, and there are some known bugs in 25.10. So it is better to use the LTS version, which is 25.8, because it does not have this like new optimization that are not really tested yet.
good to know. Okay. In the context of these data lake tables, to what extent are partitioning transforms supported? So things like time series, bucket, and trunc.
Yeah, I will also take this one. So the partitioning is supported really, really good in ClickHouse. So the time-related transforms, truncate transform, bucket transform, identity transform, everything is supported now. And you can use that for partition pruning, which works perfectly. We've tested that a lot. So yeah, it's perfectly supported and it works.
Okay, cool. What about SQL insert? So this is supported now, correct?
It should be supported, but it's not working that well in practice. You can You can play with it. You can basically insert from SQL if you have an empty Iceberg table. But if you, for example, already have an Iceberg table that you populated with Spark or PyIceberg, you will see an exception when you will try to insert with a ClickHouse right now. So the issue for that is there, and hopefully the team is working on fixing that. Yeah, so
Okay.
not 100% production ready for now, but hopefully will be fixed by the end of the year.
So if I'm someone trying to use Project Antalya with Iceberg today and I have some existing data, what should I do?
You should use Ice tool that we have. Maybe Robert can tell more about that.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, Josh. So, if you have existing data and you want to use it with, so maybe you could qualify the question a little bit. Like, what do you do? Is that the question?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Okay. So let me start out by I think many people on this call know about Project Antalya. By the way, if you have any questions about data lakes or something, feel free to unmute and just jump in. That we're talking about stuff that we're testing every day, so we might have a little bit of tunnel vision. Anyway, so what we're doing with Antalya is, and the vision is that we know that these integration features are going in. What we are doing is making it possible to use to use Iceberg as storage. So basically, if you use ClickHouse Cloud, you see what a shared merge tree does. That's a very useful addition to ClickHouse that doesn't exist in open source ClickHouse. So what we decided to do was basically make it possible to do the same thing but using Iceberg tables, which were well on the way to doing that. And so the idea is that anything that we've discussed so far, those things exist in you can pick up and use. Our work is really just a branch off the recent ClickHouse versions. We're right now at building on 25.8. We tend to move forward fairly quickly to keep up with what's going on upstream, or we backport them. So what you can do, the first thing, if you've got existing data, you can just run into Antalya builds, like the 25.8 build, and for the most part, it's just like running 25.8. Then on top of that, we have features which we've built. The most important ones are swarms, which are basically stateless clusters that you can call to, you can delegate to them to do queries on your Parquet and on S3, including within Iceberg tables. We have Ice, which is a built-in catalog that just pops up and allows you to build your own sort of pop-up data lake. It also has features to load data very efficiently. And a final thing that we're working on right now is what are called hybrid tables, which basically allow you to build a table that has tiered storage. So part of it is merge tree, part of it is Iceberg data. This is something that we're right in the middle of implementation, and there should be an experimental but still usable version of it available in the next build. Or maybe build. It's within it's literally sort of actually, we may do a build before then, but anyway, it's about to be available. You can see it actually in our most recent builds, but it's still lacking some type support.
What's the impact of something like that?
Well, so our goal when we started to do this was to basically allow everybody on this call to have cheap storage, and that's the reason that people want to go to Iceberg. And actually, if I could show you something, do you mind if I share my screen for a minute?
Please.
I've got something that came off a call and that illustrates the performance on this. So let me go ahead and share my screen. If you guys can see this, let me pull up just a second. Here we go. So basically, there was sort of a notion for a long time that not necessarily in the ClickHouse community, but that the performance of things like Iceberg and Parquet were slow, and there was a reason for this. ClickHouse was very slow to read Parquet for a long time, but this has changed enormously. And Alexander did a blog article a while back. He's on and showed that, for basic queries, sort of tables that are involving table scans, Parquet performance and merge tree are now roughly on par. One of the there was definitely an interesting step forward in what's called a native Parquet reader, which is much faster. It has some bugs, which I think also may be able to comment on. But what I wanted to show you was some performance testing we recently did on some real data. I can't reveal this, but this like show you what it was. But I can tell you that this is realistic data, very large, time ordered, very large database. And basically, what you see in this graph is we ran about 40 of the top queries on this application and tested them using merge tree, sort of storing the data in merge tree and then testing cold reads, with caches empty, and hot reads, and then did the same thing for Iceberg, both hot and cold. And what you see is for these are the queries here are ordered by the hot query speed on merge tree. And so you can see that merge tree, as everybody here knows, can be very, very fast on queries that are on small amounts of data, can use the primary key index, are cached. It's just blindingly fast. That's why it's famous. And so what you see there is that for those types of queries in this test result, um, merge tree is fast and probably will remain that way for a while. What is kind of interesting is that these queries were done on EBS. I think it was 500 megabytes per second speed. So you see that the cold reads on merge tree are slow. And what's interesting is the thing it's being compared against is a 4-node swarm on Antalya, and you see that the Antalya hot reads and cold reads are both about the same. And so the interpretation there is that you're just getting the advantage of having more CPUs reading the data. And then in this corpus of queries, the longer queries, they're about equivalent. Merge tree is very fast, but the fact that we can pour on more cheap CPU, like 4 times the amount, basically means that we can bring these to be on par. And then the other thing is sort of at the other end of the spectrum, where the queries are very large, so going over many days of data. This is where you really start to win big. You can see these the blue things are the cold, the dark blue is the cold reads, and then the hot reads are the sort of cyan colored. And these are in many cases much faster than ClickHouse. And the difference here is the absolute difference is quite big. Things that would take a minute and a half are running in roughly half that time on or less on Antalya. And again, this is where having the data be shared, and then just having the great thing about S3 is you have practically unlimited aggregate bandwidth on it. I mean, there is a limit at some point, but we don't hit it in these tests. So as a result, you see in these large queries cases where, sort of in the middle of the graph where Antalya is vastly faster. It's not perfect. I mean, here's a great example. This thing right here, that outlier is there's clearly something going on that we're doing something wrong. It may be something that depends on having, for example, a primary key index. We need to look at that. Although actually, the fact that it's so fast when it's hot means that we're probably doing something wrong here about how we scan the data. So it could be the distribution of the files. Hey, anyway, this is really starting to work. And what the hybrid table does, to bring this back, is there's this pattern emerging where for historical tables, your cold data, you want to be able to store it cheaply, but then to apply compute, scalable compute when you actually have to do queries on it, like big reports. This we can do. And as we can see already, the numbers are good. The hybrid table then allows you to mix that in with merge trees so that for your for your short queries and queries on data that's very recently arrived, that can happily live in merge tree, get compacted. You get instant query on it when it arrives. It gets compacted very quickly so that it becomes more efficient. We can now mix these together. That's what a hybrid table does. And it allows you to get that, it allows you to get the best of both worlds, to have merge tree combined with Iceberg data. I hope that makes sense.
Makes a lot of sense.
So is anybody on this? Hey, Josh, can I ask, is anybody on this call? Are you guys experimenting with this stuff yet? Just love to hear what you guys are thinking and where you're looking for help. So, well, feel free to unmute and jump in. All right. Well, you've got. I know you had a couple more things to look at.
Yeah, one more. What does the roadmap look like? So it sounds like hybrid tables I should expect very, very soon, imminently.
Yeah.
And what's next after that?
So hybrid tables, hybrid tables, and then transactional move of data. One of the other features that has come out is we have an alter table export part, where what we do is export the parts out to, single parts directly to Parquet, and we do this very efficiently. It just streams through the part, puts the data out in exactly the same, sort of same sort order, for example, as you so that so the data arrives as efficiently as possible in Parquet without us having to do, for example, a background sort to order it. And in fact, we just fixed a bug in that ordering. So that's pretty good. We are extending that to, we now have an alter table export partition, which works on replicated tables. And also, how much have you tested that? No,
Expert
it's pretty
part
new.
is
Yeah,
heavily, but
yeah,
expert partition is still in development, so we didn't
yeah,
start testing yet.
yeah. What it does is basically it'll allow the partition export will then be treated kind of like like an update, like a mutation, and it will basically be queued and run across all replicas. So that's a big one that will be productionized. And then finally, we're working on a procedure to move things transactionally, to take a partition, dump it to S3, load it into Iceberg, and then the hybrid table has a thing called a watermark in it, which is the boundary between the merge tree part and the Iceberg part, and the final step is to move that watermark to show that the partition now lives in Iceberg. These are all things that are on tap right now. They're the move procedure we haven't published yet, or the transactional procedure, but we'll be doing that shortly and testing the daylights out of it, and we'd love it if people can try it out.
And also some type-related features will be added to hybrid engine. For example, we have problems with uint, and in the roadmap we also have like these fixes for data types.
Yep. Yeah, that's really important, because the idea here is that the performance is looking pretty promising on this in our view, but mapping data types correctly, and there's like these weird corner cases. So for example, if you do an aggregate function like a sum, you have to, it's very tricky. You say sum, some column name, that actually typing that correctly so that you'll get the same data type coming back from both Iceberg and merge tree is turning out to be a bit of a tangle to get that to happen. There's a lot of the support is in there. We're building on distributed tables, but there's still some tricky corner cases to deal with.
Rodrigo comments. So they're not using Antalya, but they're migrating from EC2 ClickHouse. to ClickHouse on EKS with the help of the operator. That's awesome, Rodrigo. Hopefully the operator is working out for you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Um,
great. Yeah, hey, for Rodrigo, so one of the things that this is a key point. You don't have to be on Kubernetes to use it. I mean, clearly, Rodrigo, it looks like you guys have a plan, but the stuff we're talking about runs anywhere.
Yeah, that is important. We've got Docker demos, we've got Helm chart demos, and I think you can even run it with DevBox without either one of those, correct?
That's correct. Yeah, you can just run it in a laptop.
Yeah. Thanks everyone for coming. Again, we have meetup tomorrow in San Francisco, webinar on November 25th, and we'll probably have some kind of Antalya and Iceberg related webinar happening in December, to be announced soon. Michael, yes, thank you for your curiosity and interest. We're excited to have everyone here. We're excited to be working on this and talking about it. And as Robert said, right, making ClickHouse cheaper for everyone.
Cheaper and faster.
It's amazing that you can get both at the same time.
Yeah, yeah,
How often does that happen?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Great. Hey, thanks, Josh. Thanks, Alta.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank
All
you.
right. Bye, everybody. Have a great one. Talk to you soon.
Have a great day.